again you will study at from the same book, but it's from different pages, from page 6 to page 7, and then it's still multiplication, but this one is multiplied by 10. Okay, by 10. So I'm going to show you how can you do this exercise. Alright, in this one, they say multiplying by 10s. They said, remember that to multiply any number by 10, the number is moved one place to the left and the 0 is put at the end. You know, I think you don't have to follow all of the steps because you don't have to follow the rule. You know, when you find the way, the more easy way for you to do the exercise, you can do it. We don't ask you, force you like, okay, you follow this style or follow that style so that you can that must be the right answer. I don't care, we don't care if what style you're using, but make sure that you give us the correct answer. Okay, so this one, just remember that every number that multiply by 10 or 20, like the number that have one number and then 0 at the end, then you just write down the number here, 135, and then put the 0 back, like, because every number that multiplied by 1 is still that number. Okay, so you don't have to follow the rule like, oh, every time that I multiply the number with any number by 10, I need to move this number in one place and then add a 0 at the end. You don't have to remember that. You can just remember that if 10 or 20, and then you just multiply this number with the number in front of 0, and then you can get the 0 at the end. Example here. 135 multiplied by 10, you just write down 135 and then add a 0 at the end, then you can get the answer. So you don't have to do math like 135 multiplied by 10, you write 10 here and then you times 0 with 5 equals 0, 0 with 3 equals 0, 0 by 1 equals 0, 1 by 5, 5, 3, and then 1 and plus together equal this number. You can just multiply the first number or the second with 1 and then get the 0 at the end. Okay, and this one again, it can also multiply by number, just like I said, 20, 30, 40, and so on. But when you write this number back, when it's only when the number multiplied by every number that's like 10 or 100 or 1000, because they all start with number 1 and the rest are 0. So then you just write all the answer back and put the 0 at the end. But if it's multiplied by 20 or 30 or 40 and so on, you need to multiply by the number in front of the 0 with this number. And then you can get this, put the 0 at the end, and you can just do one time of multiplication. Okay, so they give you another example again. They said 48 multiplied by 30. So to multiply by 30, first multiply by 3 in here, like 3 times 8, 3 times 4 here equal this answer. And then they said, and then multiply by 10 in here, 1000, and you get this answer. Multiply by 10 equal 1440. So let me explain this again. So they use different method from what we all learned from high school. But just like I said, you can use this method or another method. Make sure it's easy for you, it's not confuse you, and then you can get the right answer. So in this method, they get 48. First of all, multiply by 3, because 30 equals 3 and plus 10 times with 10 equals 30. So in here, the first multiply by 3 and then they multiply by 10. They get 48 multiplied by 3 equal 144, and then they get this answer. Multiply by 10 equal 1440. This is the answer from what they do right now. Or just like what I mentioned that moment with our method, like we learned from math school, I think it's faster. You can get 3 multiplied by 48, and 3 multiplied by 48, 3 times 8 is 40. This one. 3 times 8, 24. You write 4, keep 2. 3 times 4, 12 plus 2 is 14. And then you see 0 at the back. You just add 0, and then you can get the right answer the same as this method. And it's faster for you. You can do it in your mind as well. You don't have to get out the paper or book and do it or whiteboard. Okay. So in this exercise, Number 1, they say multiply by 10 and write the answer. So here, 47 multiplied by 10. You don't have to get 47 multiplied by 1. First multiply by 1 and then multiply by 10 or 0. That's like a long way one for you. You just multiply, because this is 1 and 0. Every number that multiply by 1 is that number. You can just write 47 and then 0 back. So the answer should be 470. And the rest, I guess you can do it in 1 minute, or I can do it in half minute. Number 2, complete the steps to multiply each of this. They say the multiply by 20 first, multiply by 2, and then multiply by 20. No, 10, sorry. So when you plus each other, you plus all of this answer together, then you can get the right answer. I think I might do some mistake. No, I didn't. And all of this exercise is similar to this step, but again, you can follow when you do the multiplication exercise. You can follow every method that you want to, and you feel familiar, like you feel like I'm good at it. I don't have to learn this, but at least you should know like other method as well. But you can just do the one that you're good at it. Okay. 90. This one should be this one 10. Okay. And then next exercise here. Answer this. 32 multiplied by 30 until letter H, A until letter H. So here, if you follow this method, you can just get 32 multiplied by 3 and then keep the answer and get the answer multiplied by 10 because 30 is 10. But if you want to follow, I would suggest to follow our method that you learned at high school. You get 32 multiplied by 30, and then you can just multiply 32 by 3. And when you see the answer, you put 0 at the back. Then the answer would be, I can just do this in mind. So the answer would be 960. Because I multiply 2 by 3 is 6. 3 by 3 is 9. 96. And then I add 0. The answer is 960. See, I can do it in my mind and quick. I don't have to get out the notebook, and then you can just do this or follow the step that you want to and write down the answer right up to the question. Number 4, this function machines multiply. Complete the tables of results for the numbers coming out of each function's machine. So this is like a machine. It's not a time machine, but a math machine for you. Function. So this one, we have the number in for you, 23, 37, 51, 80, and 96. And out here, for you, supposed to write the answer. So if I have number 23 and I put it in the machine, what number should I time with? Yes, 40. Because this machine, they make up and write down the number 40. Every number that you put it in, you must time it 40. But if I change this to 30, you must time it 30. So in here, 23 time it 40. And what is the answer? You write out here. And 37, when you put it in, time it 40, you write out the answer here, 51, 80, until 96. And then letter B in here, we have different number from letter A exercise. And the number that we have to time it also different from exercise number A. And then you write down the answer out of here. I think you guys do this back then. I don't remember, but I think you guys did it already, and then it's easy for you. Try this. You have to do this. Okay? All of these exercises from A until letter F, you just read them, and then I think you can do it. And again, this lesson is about multiplication. So your idea should be like, oh, I think it should be multiplication. I should multiply this number with this number. I shouldn't do like addition or subtraction because yesterday and today you learn about multiplication. Sorry. Okay. So I would suggest you to read this out loud, and then you can do the exercise. You don't just go, teacher, I don't know how to do, or mom or dad, I don't know how to do this exercise. I think if you read it out loud like me, like you done it in your mind because you study at home, you're alone, you don't have to worry that you disturb your friends, so you can just read this out loud but not screaming. You can say there are 60 minutes in an hour and how many minutes in 10 hours. Okay. So what should you do with this exercise? Try to do this, all of this exercise, and write down the answer next to the question, and then we can discuss the answer all together. And let's see again how many answer can you get uh, correctly. Okay. So thank you so much, and hope to see you guys soon.